according to Lieutenant Yenqing's report, he stumbled upon a few suspicious Foxians at Stargazer Navalia. After following them, he discovered that they were actually Borisin in disguise. This is one of the bodies.
Looking at him now, it's hard to imagine how he transformed into a Foxian.
My alchemists detected some complex ingredients in his remains, which might explain how these Borisin were able to disguise themselves as Foxians. Simply put, Foxians and Borisin share a common ancestry. Although they look completely different now, there isn't much genetic difference between them. This medicine allows Borisin to temporarily change their shape into that of Foxians.
So, in other words, if they stop taking the medicine, their true form will soon be revealed?
Indeed. This means that these Borisin have a steady supply of the medicine within the Lafu. The disciples of Sanctus Medicus. Looks like the Alchemy Commission is involved once again. When I was sorting through the prescriptions they use, I came across one called Semblance Reversion Essence. It's designed to help those disciples suppress signs of their Mara-struck forms and maintain their normal appearance. When I compared it to the medicine found in the Borisin's body...
They're one and the same, aren't they?
The medicinal properties and ingredients may differ, but the principle remains the same.
Since ancient times, the Borisin have always sought to have more powerful bodies, regarding the Foxians as weaklings. Yet, in order to save their warhead, they were willing to disguise themselves as Foxians. Their determination is quite remarkable.
If these infiltrators rely on the medicine to maintain their disguise, then following this lead in our investigation seems prudent. Please follow me. Here we are. According to the judge, this area is not yet under control, so we should proceed cautiously. I've captured the nature of the medicine in my sensor. By following the medicinal fumes, we should be able to retrace the steps of the disguised Borisin.
All or nothing.
Incredible.
Such brute strength is not something an ordinary Borisin possesses. This is likely the work of Hule.
If I may be so bold to ask, is this Borisin truly that formidable?
I have lived a bit longer and engaged in a few more battles than you, Miss Lingshaw. To the Alliance, Borisin have always been the most formidable adversaries. And Hule is a monster feared even among his own kind. With his strength, Hule united numerous Borisin pacts, forming a grand army of abominations of abundance. They constantly push the Alliance's armies into perilous positions. Over 7 centuries ago, I followed my mentor on a campaign against the abominations. And I personally witnessed the devastation on the battlefield after Hule appeared. Even with medicinal pellets that suppress the fear caused by his lupitoxin, countless Cloud Knights succumbed to panic in the face of his murderous aura. They couldn't even raise a hand in resistance. If the former sword champion hadn't immobilized Hule with her Frostblade, the outcome of that fateful battle could have been very different. By the end of the battle, only a few of us remained. The crimson moon cast the sheen of blood on all. Everything I saw was painted dark red.
If that's the case, why wasn't the beast executed instead of being imprisoned? On the Xianzhou Juming, the judges cast those unforgivable and nearly immortal abominations of abundance into the eternal flames of the stars, reducing them to ashes. Their so-called immortality is just a facade. I mean, nothing can truly defy death, can it? I just don't understand why the Luofu kept this tumor for so long, leading to the terrible situation we're facing now. But I guess I understand. The people of the Luofu are known for their kindness. Even when faced with the malignant tumor within the Alchemy Commission, they couldn't bring themselves to cut it out. Instead, they exiled the healer, who tried to solve the problem, to the Xianzhou Juming.
I understand if you hold grudges against me, Miss Lingshaw. I take the blame for the resurgence of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus. As for why Hule was only in prison, I can shed some light on that too.
I'm just a healer. I'm not familiar with the past. I'd appreciate it if you could enlighten me, General.
All right. Let me tell you more about it as we go.
Stream forth the gleam of old blades.
Did this Cloud Knight also take the medicine?
No. This is a Borisin in disguise. A guard killed him before he could return to his original form.
All these Borisin are dressed in official attire. Besides the Cloud Knight, there were also 2 Borisin disguised as members of the Skyfaring Commission and the Artisanship Commission. Whoever is providing them with official identities must hold the position of power. Let's search elsewhere.
Stream forth the gleam of old blades. Storm's on the horizon. Familiar. No dirty tricks. Watch your head. All in.
Be of your body and mind.
Destined for oblivion. I weep for the departed. It too shall fall.
Bust. Or maybe I'll take it all!
How familiar.
No dirty trick. Watch your head!
On the still waters of oblivion.
Attack mode. Macerate.
No dirty tricks. All in.
Damage sustained.
Since you're already here, why not have a meal before you leave?
Yeah. Everything in this world is bleeding.
I weep for the departed. It too shall fall.
Damage sustained. Corrosion.
My back. Bust? Or maybe I'll take it off! Watch your head!
Destined for oblivion.
A little more heat. Since you're already here, why not have a meal before you leave?
Time to cleanse the filth.
Damage
On the
sustained.
still waters of oblivion.
No dirty. All in.
Damage sustained.
More seasoning.
These are abnormal.
I weep for the departed. It too shall fall.
Shutting.
This is what exploring the cosmos is all about.
Someone bit open his arteries and drained almost all of his blood while he was still alive. Such a cruel and ruthless act.
Despite being a long-lived species, Borson are actually more like predatory beasts that must feed on raw blood and flesh. I've heard that Hule was deprived of food and water in the shackling prison. It's hard to imagine how he managed to suppress his hunger for over 7 centuries. Will the hostage from the Yaoqing be able to avoid being his meal?
Such is the terrible nature of the abominations of abundance. We subjected him to the forest of swords to drain his life force. But in the end, his punishment turned into a test of our patience. Just like you said, Miss Lingshaw. Casting a creature that can't be killed into a star would be a way to permanently get rid of it. But unfortunately...
The Foxians didn't agree to that.
Exactly. The atrocities committed by Hule went beyond mere massacres. Throughout numerous wars, we made every effort to eradicate the Borisin. But Hule, with his mysterious sorcery, turned countless Foxians into his pawns. And so the Borisin kept returning. The Foxians curse his name day and night, and they even use it to scare children into staying quiet. How could they grant a swift death to such a great sinner? I wonder if you know why Hule wasn't taken into custody by the Foxian majority Xianzhou Yaoqing, but instead imprisoned in the Xianzhou Luofu, Miss Lingsha.
As you mentioned, your mentor was an exceptional warrior and was the one who defeated Hule, an extraordinary achievement. Therefore, the Marshal placed this feral beast under the jurisdiction of the Xianzhou Luofu as an honor, I assume?
It seems you have a major misunderstanding about this arrangement, Miss Lingsha. Allow me to explain it to you.
Stream forth the gleam of old blades.
Yanqing told me that an IPC ship was attacked by Borison. Is this what they were transporting on the ship?
Yes. The Artisanship Commission and Alchemy Commission conducted a joint examination and found that the parts of this machine are made from specially refined Borison biotissue. I heard the Intelligentsia Guild has been researching the biological properties of long-life species, hoping to make medical or combat-related discoveries. However, they haven't dared to cross any lines due to their so-called relationship with the Alliance.
Perhaps to those scholars, Borison are no different from lab animals. Maybe the Borison attacked that ship to retaliate against the Intelligentsia Guild for experimenting on them?
No. If it were only about revenge, they could just wreck the ship and destroy all the cargo, instead of allowing it to end up in the shackling prison. It was a deliberate display to showcase the dangerous nature of the cargo in broad daylight. This way, the cargo would end up in the shackling prison, serving as a tool for the prison break.
This skill in exploiting the blind spots of others' mindsets is so atypical of them. I'm afraid the IPC and the Intelligentsia Guild unknowingly became their accomplices.
Watch out! This thing is still alive! Can you regenerate even after suffering such severe attacks?
Their imitation of long-life species has crossed the line. Is bleeding.
All in. Bust. Or maybe I'll take it all!
On the still waters of oblivion, I weep for the departed. It too shall fall.
Since you're already here, why not have a meal before you leave?
Damaged.
Watch your head.
Yeah.
Destined for oblivion.
A little more heat.
These are
Time to cleanse the filth.
On the still waters of oblivion.
these are abnormal.
No dirty tricks, alright?
If it can still move, it means it wasn't damaged enough. Let's make sure it never moves again.
Or maybe I'll take it all!
Damage sustained.
Watch your head. Since you're already here, why not have a meal before you leave?
Study.
You haven't answered my question about why Hule was imprisoned in the Lafu instead of the Yaoqing, General. You've been reserved in your response. Could it be that such an arrangement wasn't an honor?
The reason why the Marshal didn't leave Hule on the Yaoqing lies in the very mech in front of us.
Are you suggesting that there are people trying to understand Hule's secrets and use them for their own purposes? Just like with this mech? Well, I understand. I've heard that the Foxians on the Yaoqing share a bloodline with the Borison. And just like the Borison, some of the Foxians there experience an uncontrollable insanity called moon rage. The Marshal believed that this would be inhumane and no different from what the Borison did, so...
Exactly. While Borison see moon rage as a blessing that unlocks their true potential, Foxians see it as an inevitable curse within their bloodline. Countless healers of the Yaoqing have attempted to unravel this mystery, but to no avail. Why can Borison control the power of Moonrage? Can we Foxians break free from this curse? These questions were asked frequently. Each questioner had good intentions. But the road to catastrophe is paved with good intentions. To the Foxians of the Yaoqing, Hule was not only the warhead of the Borison, but also a monster that could be the subject of much research. Hule thus became a poison that corrupted people's minds without their knowing.
That's why the Marshal decided to imprison Hule and the Lafu. It wasn't an honor, but rather a warning.
Because such selfish pursuits in the name of good intentions once led to a tragedy on the Lafu that served as a warning to future generations.
The sedition of Imbibitor Lunae. By imprisoning Hule and the Xianzhou Lafu, the Marshal both suppressed the dangerous intentions of the Yaoqing Foxians and warned the Xianzhou Lafu to refrain from repeating its mistake.
That was a necessary trade-off. The Xianzhou Alliance is not solely about the Xianzhou natives. Only when all three races, Foxian, Vidyadhara, and Xianzhou natives, form an alliance, will there be a promising future for all.
Thank you for enlightening me. Was it for the same reason that you traded off my mentor to the Xianzhou Zhuming, only to stand idle and allow the resurgence of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus?
You said that I couldn't bear to cut out the malignant tumor within the Alchemy Commission, but instead exiled the healer who tried to solve the problem to the Xianzhou Zhuming. But did your mentor tell you her good intentions led her to perform certain healing arts on Dun Hung, who had just finished his hatching rebirth, so that he would regain the memories of his past life?
What did you just say?
She believed that restoring the High Elder's knowledge of his past life would allow the Vidyadhara to resume their duty as the guardians of the Ambrosial Arbor, quelling the strife within their clan and bringing everything back on the right path. But just as I mentioned earlier, the road to catastrophe is always paved with good intentions. Since then, the 6 charioteers decided that the Alchemy Commission would no longer have a cauldron master. Until your arrival now.
If that's the case, I should thank you for protecting my mentor by exiling her, General.
Quite the contrary. I should be the one thanking you.
Thanking me?
All I ever want is to have a clear conscience. However, can long-life species truly achieve that goal in their long-drawn lives? For example, you were implicated along with your mentor and forced to leave your homeland without knowing the truth. And now, with the complicated situation in the Alchemy Commission, the Alliance has spared me a lot of trouble by sending you to handle this challenging task. Shouldn't I be thanking you instead?
Your eloquence is indeed impressive, the divine foresight. You won't even leave me any excuses to hold a grudge against you. But, let me make it clear. The Alliance sent me here to handle the business impartially, not to choose sides.
It doesn't matter which side you choose, Miss Lingshaw. At the end of the day, both you and I stand on the side of the Alliance, don't we? Let's keep going.
Stream forth the gleam of old blades.
These Mara-struck soldiers don't appear to be escaped prisoners.
How can you tell?
These soldiers are fully armed. Obviously, they didn't hastily join the battle.
The messenger named Morza did say that there were two groups of attackers. And the other attackers, aside from the Borison, could hide their tracks. I believe he was referring to these people.
Hide their tracks?
Exactly. I've engaged with these attackers before, and they used Cloud Hymn magic to hide their presence. Without careful observation, no one can detect them.
You once warned me to be cautious of the Vidyadhara Elder's influence within the Alchemy Commission. Could it be?
What's on your mind, Miss Lingshaw?
Well, it seems that someone provided the attackers with a map of the shackling prison. And considering the Vidyadhara's involvement in the prison's construction, it raises suspicion about their role in this. Additionally, the fact that the Borison need medicine to disguise themselves would suggest that there are still moles within the Alchemy Commission assisting them covertly. Moreover, forging official identities for the undercover Borison would require someone with significant authority. And the presence of assassins capable of using Cloud Hymn magic deepens my suspicion about the Preceptors. But why would the Vidyadhara collude with the Borison and aid in Hulei's escape?
They aim to spread chaos. They believe that only in chaos can they regain their former power and influence. Since this edition of Imbibe de Lune, the once proud dragon race has been powerless, watching their influence wane. Being a native of the Luofu, Miss Lingsha, I believe you understand the implications.
However, I don't think the Preceptors are the true masterminds. If I'm not mistaken, the one behind all this treachery is the Lord Ravager who exploited the weaknesses within the Luofu and instigated the disciples of Sanctus Medicus, ultimately leading to the Ambrosial Arbor's resurrection. Fentilia.
Please remember, General, that everything I've mentioned is mere speculation. We need concrete evidence for a public trial. If you want to interrogate someone within the Vidyadhara's ranks, you'll need irrefutable proof.
So, what's your plan, Miss Lingshaw?
I'll send an invitation to the Preceptors.
An invitation?
The Preceptors have been inviting me for a personal meeting since my arrival on the Luofu. Now, I'll send them the remains of these Mara-struck soldiers and the route map I found in the prisoner's possession. Then, I'll ask them to meet me at Scale Gorge Waterscape. I'd like to hear their explanations.
Good idea. If I were to take action, it might alert the true mastermind. I trust you to handle this matter, Miss Lingshaw. The internal affairs of the Vidyadhara should remain under their jurisdiction. And don't worry if things don't go smoothly. Once the wolf hunt operation is over, the hidden truths will come to light.
Speaking of the wolf hunt operation, I'm truly worried about the Yaoqing messenger who was taken hostage. Hulei was starving in the shackling prison for centuries. I don't know if the messenger can survive in that wolf's clutches. May Rainbow's blessing keep him safe.
As I said, I'm a healer. But my art of healing requires the culinary arts to be truly effective. The magic of my cauldron is its ability to make all kinds of medicines into dishes that patients can eat. When simmered and cooked together, any kind of medicinal herb or ingredient becomes a delightful delicacy.
Delicacy. But isn't that just one flavor overpowering the others?
Well, you have a point. Let me ask you this. If there's a fussy child who refuses to eat green peppers, what's the best way to make him eat them?
Stuff the kid's mouth with the green peppers and Cook him alive in a pot.
You have quite the sense of humor. I've heard that you, Borisin, have lost many of your taste buds during the self-modification process, so you can't experience complex flavors. Only the saltiness of blood and flesh truly awakens your appetite.
It's a shame I don't have any green peppers right now. Otherwise, I'd happily stuff them into your mouth and cook you alive in a pot.
I'm just kidding. The answer is quite simple. Chop up the peppers and mix them with minced meat to make meatballs. This way, the flavor of the meat overpowers the taste of the peppers. And even a fussy child can enjoy them.
Can I just boil your tongue in this hot pot? I know you're trying to buy time until someone comes to your rescue. You said that Jin Liu recently returned to the Luofu, right? Well, she did come back. But, unfortunately, I also found out that she committed serious crimes and was escorted to another Xianzhou ship. Do you really think you can delay our departure by provoking Lord Hulei's desire for revenge with your clever little tongue? You see Borisin as savages who know nothing about the Xianzhou, but in fact, we know all about your tracking tricks. Like the jade abacus you're carrying, and the side cranes in the sky. The more hope you hold in your heart, the greater your pain will be when death comes. I wonder if you can maintain your composure when I tear your throat open.
His composure is only a temporary effect of the medicine. And it will wear off soon, right?
Lord Hulei.
Oh, you pathetic Foxians. For thousands of years, we were the ones who allowed you to live, and who granted you civilization. But in the end, you chose to betray us for the freedom promised by the Xianzhou people. But it's all right. As long as you catch the scent of your masters, you obediently return to us, no matter how far you run away.
Run away, you said? Well, I'm not the one who's trying to run away right now. The Borisin's era has long passed. Did they ever tell you these harsh facts before giving you hope for returning home? Lord Hulei? Now they're being crushed by the Merlin's claw of the Yaoqing. By a Foxian. They're hiding in remote corners of the cosmos, trembling with fear like a wounded beast on its last legs, reaching out desperately for any fake hope of salvation, which in this case is you.
The Merlin's claw of the Yaoqing. A Foxian? Very interesting. Tell me, Mock Talk, is he speaking the truth?
He isn't lying. That lowly beast was a war slave who ran away from our pack. Cannon fodder, a thief! She stole our power and used her knowledge about us to fight us, using every dirty trick in the book!
And she bested you, Mock Talk. Fairness is but a pathetic excuse for the dead and defeated. Since our great pack has fallen apart, who told you that I was alive? And who sent you here?
In our darkest hours, It was a prophet of the Master of Immortality, named Mongus, who showed us the way. Her guidance brought us hope.
This prophet, Mongus, what does she want?
The prophet made this proclamation. The Borisin have been divided for too long, and only your return can unite all the packs, restoring us to our former glory. That's when we learned that you were still alive. It must have been a manifestation of the Master of Immortality! And the prophet told us that the Foxian general of the Yao Qing would take you to her ship during the Lafu's war dance, and that it would be our best chance to infiltrate and free you from your prison. And just as she said, we did it!
That so-called prophet lied to all of you. She just sent you here to die.
But her prophecy has come true. Our warhead is right here, with us!
Once the news about the prison break spreads, the Cloud Knights will close all the ports. You may think you've escaped the prison, but you're just trapped in another cage, known as the Lafu.
Let me kill this unruly, lowly beast, Lord Hule! I assure you that our star skiffs will soon arrive. Right now, everyone in the Lafu is distracted by the stupid war dance, so this will be the perfect chance to escape. Once you've returned to your territory, your revenge against the Xianzhou ships will be within reach.
Perfect chance to return to my weak and shattered pack at the mercy of a ridiculous false prophet and become a mere puppet in her clutches. Her plan is full of flaws. The only paths she has prepared for you are escape and death. Listen up. A wolf never allows itself to become prey. From now on, you'll follow my orders. Since you are so confident that the Cloud Knights will close the ports, Jiao Chou, I'm now giving you a chance to go and see it for yourself. Go to the ports, come back, and tell me what you saw.
Wait, what did you just say?
But my lord!
Would an alpha wolf ever listen to a cub mock talk?
No, I've never heard anything like that. I wasn't trying to defy your will. I will always unquestioningly follow your orders.
I'm offering you a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Don't you want to run away, Jiao Chou? You will come back. Because Foxians like you always obediently return to their masters, no matter how far they run away.